Okay
Uh,
then, welcome to Kitely and the Little Prince book reading session. As you can see, we're getting quite crowded here with different creatures and different props from the story. And today I am, in fact, the Little Prince. I'm not sure if you can see me, but there you go. Um, got a size issue, but I'll sort that out later maybe. April is angry. Okay, I don't know why April is angry, but oh dear. Okay, so April's not
uh,
talking to us. She's angry. But Eleanor, whenever you're ready, I believe we are starting today at chapter 15, which is a great place to start
yes,
because
I
I
have the
like doing
same.
chapter to chapter. Okay, so if we could do page by page again, is that okay?
Okay, so one page. Okay,
Yep, one
chapter
page, and we'll see how far we can get. Okay, thank you.
chapter 15. The little prince visits the geographer. The sixth planet was 10 times larger than the last one. It was inhabited by an old gentleman who wrote voluminous books. Oh, look, here is an explorer, he exclaimed to himself when he saw the little prince coming. The little prince sat down on the table and panted a little. He had already travelled so much and so far. Where do you come from? The old gentleman said to him. What is that big book? Said the little prince. What are you doing? I am a geographer, the old gentleman said to him. What is a geographer? Asked the little prince. A geographer is a scholar who knows the location of all the seas, rivers, towns, mountains, and deserts. That is very interesting, said the little prince. Here at last is a man who has a real profession. And he cast a look around him at the planet of the geographer. It was the most magnificent and stately planet that he had ever seen. On the end.
Very good, well done. Okay, so I don't know any geographers, I'll be honest. Uh, I know, apart from, the people who taught me geography at school, I've never actually met a geographer. Although I did meet somebody from the British Geological Survey. I do know somebody who works for BGS, but he's not a geographer, he's a metallurgist, so I don't know. There you go. It's a rare profession. Just the one word for you, Eleanor, and that's himself.
Self.
Yeah,
What
you
did
said
I say?
himself. It sounded like
Ah,
himself.
uh,
You forgot the
okay.
f at the end. So just try it. Himself.
Himself.
That's better. Yeah, you got to get the f in.
Yeah,
Any
of course.
questions about the
Uh,
page?
I, I, I haven't met geographers, but I remember one at primary school. It was really a disaster. We were forced to learn the names of animals all around the world without seeing the pictures, and there were quite a lot of strange names. So just imagine what an idiot he was.
That's
Sorry, you
weird.
have started. Yeah, very. But it was quite strain on everybody's memory, of course.
Well,
Very,
plus pretty useless. You know the word
very
lion,
useful.
but you've got no idea what a lion looks like. I mean, that's just.
Well, lion, it's okay, but there were also Australian animals, African ones,
Well,
so
lion's African, but yeah, I'm just imagining trying to learn a word without any context. Something as yeah, that's I've never heard the like. But then teachers can be weird. They can be so weird as to what constitutes learning and what constitutes
he
teaching.
didn't care.
Did he is he
But
did he get sacked?
perhaps, but it was just toward the end and perhaps afterwards, but I couldn't tell you. Earlier I had a very nice teacher. She was really sensible, and I did learn a lot.
Okay.
But this guy, he was young.
Okay. Oh well, that's yeah. I had some weird teachers too, but I think when I was at school, they were less rigorous about who got to teach. So we had quite a few teachers who had issues, shall we say. Shiny, are you ready to read?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Good.
sorry.
Page 48 then, please. Thank you.
Okay. Your planet is very beautiful, he said. Has it any oceans? I couldn't tell you, said the geographer. Ah, the little prince was disappointed. Has it any mountains? I couldn't tell you, said the geographer. And towns and rivers and deserts? I couldn't tell you that either. But you are a geographer. Exactly, the geographer said. But I'm not an explorer. I haven't a single explorer on my planet. It's not the geographer who goes out to count the towns, the rivers, the mountains, the seas, the oceans, and the deserts. The geographer is much too important to go loafing about. He does not leave his desk, but he receives the explorers in his study. He asks them questions, and he notes down what they recall of their travels, and if the recollections of anyone among them seem interesting to him, the geographer orders an inquiry into that explorer's moral character. What is that? But an explorer who told lies would bring disaster on the books of the geographer. So would an explorer who drank too much. Why is that? Asked the little prince. Because intoxicated man see double. Then the geographer would note down two mountains in a place where there was only one. I know someone, said the little prince, who would make a bad explorer. That is possible, then, when the moral character of the explorer is shown to be good. An inquiry is ordered into his discovery. One goes to see it. No, that would be too complicated. But one requires the explorer to furnish proofs. For example, if the discovery in question is that of a large mountain, one requires that large stones be brought back from it. The geographer was suddenly stirred to excitement.
Very good. Well done. Okay. And yeah, strange goings on. Let's just give you a little bit of feedback. Nicely read. You've got a bit of a problem with explorer. I know it's this l sound, the r, l. It's not explorer, it's explorer. So say r.
Ra.
Like rough, yeah, and then explorer.
Explorer.
That's very good. Good. And then to note down is a phrasal verb. If you note something down, you write it down in a book. So it's he notes down, not he notes down. So he looks down, that's fine, but he notes down, to note something down. Try it.
He notes down.
That's right, yeah, because it's got nothing really to do with down or up. It's more just the phrasal verb to note something down, to note down, I don't know, the meanings. That's what Eleanor does for us every week with the book. She notes down the meanings of all the difficult words. And then, now, some people say inquiry, some people say inquiry. In the UK, we tend to say we need to hold an inquiry. Lots and lots of inquiries are held in the UK, normally to keep going for years and years and years, by which time nobody will remember what the inquiry was about. So, but in America I have heard people say inquiry. So, but you seem to be uncertain as to how to pronounce it, so you can choose inquiry or inquiry. Okay.
Thank you. Inquiry.
Okay. And then April's written, what about recollections? To recollect. Did Shiny say recollections? I didn't catch that one. I was probably typing a different one. But try it anyway, Shiny. Recollections.
Recollections.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because it's the verb to recollect something, to remember. I can't quite recollect that. Now, I've got a question for April, but I'm not sure if she's too angry to read, or if she can't read, or that's why she's angry, or I don't know. April.
Yes, I don't know what happened, but in the beginning I had to use two headset, one for speaking and one for listening. I don't know.
Oh my god. I can't imagine how you were doing that. I'd like to see a photograph of your setup. I've had all sorts of issues this morning, you know.
I was so surprised. I think, where did the voice come from? And why I don't have the green line on my head on the screen, I mean.
Yeah, the green wavy lines. Well, we couldn't hear you at all, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't speak. I haven't spoken actually.
Oh, okay.
At that moment, because I tested. I don't want you all listening to me saying hello, testing.
That's all right. We're used to it. It's one of the most common phrases ever heard in these sessions is "Hello, can you hear me?" if nobody learns anything else, they do learn to say "Hello, can you hear me?"
But I didn't have internet for the whole night, the whole day since last evening.
Yeah. Since yesterday.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Since yesterday evening.
Yesterday evening, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we say that. We say yesterday evening or yesterday morning, but last night. You know, what can I say? Why? I don't know. Yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, last night.
Yeah, and I was happy that I was online 11 past 9, but you were already.
I was out of the door
disappear.
Actually. Yeah, I mean, I've had a really rushed week. Well, I've had a crappy weekend, to be honest, and not a good start to the Monday either. I won't go into details, but it meant that Leica didn't get her walk, and so when nobody came by 10 past, I was like, "Come on then, Leica, let's go out." So I got your message on my phone, and it was such a shame. I've got my phone set up for Discord now. I hope it seems to be working. I tested it. My voice was working. I sat there, and nobody came.
Yeah, but I even on my phone on 2G and 3G, I I didn't have internet at the moment. It's from the same provider, so everything is.
Oh yeah, no. If
seems,
that goes down, that's it. You're
yeah.
buggered. I'm afraid. Yeah, but that happens. It happens. However, and thank you for letting me know. But I did laugh when I saw your message. I thought, yeah, but there's 200 members who all go, I want to learn English. I want to learn English. But maybe I've just got the Monday live chat set up wrong. As I say, next year we will be doing it somewhat differently, and it'll mean that even if nobody turns up, I can get something done, kind of thing. So we will be doing something a little bit differently next year. I'm not sure. I might cancel next week's, so it's one of the things I'm considering, is just doing it a little bit differently next year. And as nobody came this week, I might cancel next week's because I'm really busy at the moment. So yeah, it was one of the things that made me think, okay, that's that then. So I'll do that now. Off. There you go, it's gone. And that gives me a bit of time to sort other things out that I need to do, having a life as well. Anyway, any questions about Chinese page? Because there were a couple of little phrases there. To see double? Do you all know what it means to see double? Do you know?
Yes, instead of one card, you see two cards.
Yeah, but not like two separate cats. You like see a cat and then
yeah,
another,
they're blurring.
Yeah, they're very close together. So I hope none of you have ever had double vision, and that's what we call it.
No.
Yeah, it is something that does affect people to have double vision. Okay, to see double and to have double vision. So double vision tends to be like, there you go. So if you look at the fox, that's the sort of effect double vision can have, where you see one, not just one fox, but almost two foxes embedded in each other. It's very disconcerting, double vision. You're like, okay, which one is it? The left fox is the real fox, or the right fox is the real fox?
But if you have a kind of illness in your eyes, Lynn.
That's the kind of thing, yeah.
Strabismus, yeah, strabismus.
Oh, well,
that's
if
double
you want
vision,
to be all posh, nobody calls it that. We just call it double vision.
Oh, it's strabismus. I know that, strabismus.
That's because you are a medical professional.
Oh, finally I'm something.
But if you have a look, here you go. So even on, I mean, there's all sorts of causes that can cause double vision. One of them is said to be alcohol, but there can also be drugs. It can be a blow to the head, but that's the word I was looking for. The image, it's not like two distinct things, it's like overlapping. The two things overlap. Okay.
Even astigmatismus, astigmatism is also. I have a little bit. You too. You told me. I think, Lynn, a little bit astigmatism. I have that too.
More than a little bit.
Yeah, and you see also a little bit double, I think. No,
I see
have
all
that.
sorts of things, I can assure you. I've had several eye operations, so yeah, my eyes are rubbish. They totally are. But I'm very glad, I'm very grateful to ophthalmologists who mean, that we live in an amazing time where it is possible to get corrective lenses for all sorts of things now. So I don't suffer too much from double vision, though. Fuzziness and being unable to see anything clearly is my major problem. But yes, the astigmatism, short-sightedness, long-sightedness. Again, we tend to have normal everyday words to describe our sight in layman's terms, as we would call it. Yeah, so short-sighted, long-sighted, double vision, a lazy eye as well. We can call it a lazy eye, and of course blind, eventually blindness and all degradation that old age seems to bring. Okay, so if there's no other questions, myopia.
One Lin to go loafing about is
to loaf.
What is that?
My favourite pastime at the moment is if I could have some time to loaf. I'm looking forward to Christmas so I can loaf about. It means doing nothing. Maybe you can loaf about on the settee or in a chair. You can loaf about in the shops. It just means doing nothing particularly productive.
You don't have to go somewhere.
Oh no, you can.
Oh, okay.
It just means you don't do anything. You're just aimless idle. You can do it anywhere. You can loaf anywhere. And it just means no particular plan, no goal, something that I haven't done for weeks now. I haven't done any loafing, but I'm ready to. When the holidays come, I'm going to loaf. So nothing to do with bread, okay? A loaf, as you know, is a large loaf of bread. It's bread, but in a big square that you can slice and make sandwiches and that kind of thing. But to loaf means just to lounge around, not working, not doing anything productive. Okay? Yes, thank you, Elinor.
Okay, thank you.
So
I thought that it is okay.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we should do a whole session on eye vocabulary because it is really quite detailed. Myopia, glaucoma, there's all sorts of cataracts. Oh, all the lovely things that can go wrong with your eyes. But I think we'll leave it at that, and we'll move on to April's reading. So, April, I think you're reading page 49. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 53 in my book.
Oh,
but you. Yeah?
Sorry. Yeah, but you.
But you come from far away. You are an explorer. You shall describe your planet to me. And having opened his big register, the geographer sharpened his pencil. The recitals of explorers are put down first in pencil. One waits until the explorer has furnished proofs before putting them down in ink. Well, said the geographer expectantly. Oh, where I live, said the little prince. It is not very interesting. It is all so small. I have 3 volcanoes. 2 volcanoes are active and the other is extinct. But one never knows. One never knows, said the geographer. I have also a flower. We do not record flowers, said the geographer. Why is that? The flower is the most beautiful thing on my planet. We do not record them, said the geographer, because they are ephemeral. What does that mean, ephemeral? Geographies, said the geographer, are the books which, of all books, are most concerned with matters of consequence. They never become old-fashioned. It is very rarely that a mountain changes its position. It is very rarely that an ocean empties itself of its waters. We write of eternal things. But extinct volcanoes may come to life again, the little prince interrupted. What does that mean, ephemeral? Whether volcanoes are extinct or alive, it comes to the same thing for us, said the geographer. The thing that matters to us is the mountain. It does not change. But what does that mean, ephemeral? Repeated the little prince, who never in his life had let go of a question once he had asked it. It means which is in danger of speedy disappearance. Is my flower in danger of speedy disappearance? Certainly it is. Thank you. Oh, by the way, one volcano in Bali.
Oh yes,
In Bali.
it's been causing
Yeah,
all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
Wow.
At this
Can you
moment,
imagine living next to a volcano? Okay, could you just do me a favour, April? Could you carry on the next page because it's very short? Okay.
Okay, thank you. My flower is ephemeral, the little prince said to himself, and she has only 4 thorns to defend herself against the world, and I have left her on my planet all alone. That was his first moment of regret, but he took courage once more. What place would you advise me to visit now? He asked. The planet Earth, replied the geographer. It has a good reputation. And the little prince went away, thinking of his flower. It's not a good. It has a good reputation anymore now. The planet, don't come.
Well, you don't know. I guess it would depend on the reputation of other planets. Okay. Come on, we've got oxygen and we've got water. Well, what could you want? And we've got gummy bears. That's a pretty good reputation to me. Yeah, do me. Okay, very nicely read. Well done, April. Couple of words for you. Okay, so you've got a bit of a problem with geographer. We say geography, but geographer. Not geographer, geographer.
Geographer.
That's it. Somebody who studies geography is a geographer. Then recitals.
Recitals. Didn't I correct it at last? Recital?
Not quite. But recitals, I don't know if you've ever been to a recital. You can go to a recital of poetry. This is a kind of recital where we're reading a book out loud, but I guess it's not really because there's more than one of us doing it. But anyway. Then interesting.
Interesting. I didn't put the stress on the right place, I think.
No, you didn't.
I said interesting.
Yeah, interesting. That would be to rest. But no, it's interesting. Oh, very, very interesting. Then I'm afraid that record was a record, not a record. To record. We record it in our book. So that's to. That's the verb. To record. Try it.
To record.
That's it. And then this last one, it's eternal.
Okay. Eternal. Eternally eternal.
Eternal, yeah. And ephemeral. Hang on, let me...
Ephemeral.
Yeah.
Ephemeral. Ephemeral. Eternal.
Eternal, ephemeral. And then that last one, it's a tricky one to say out because you've really got to stress the also, because otherwise it might sound like also. Because you could say it's also small. Yeah? It is also small, which means it is small too. But he's saying it is all so small. So you've got to stress the so to show that it's not also. Okay, try it. It is all so small.
It is all so small.
That's it. Much better. Good. Any questions? Cool. Nearly deleted my corrections.
How many thorns has a rose actually?
Well, I
Is
guess
it a
it's
special
it
one?
depends. Yeah, I don't know. His rose has 4, but thorns. Some roses are really thorny. Other roses have no thorns. There are roses that have been grown to be thornless and defenseless, if you think about it. But I guess it depends on the the cultivation of the rose. In some florists, they will cut off the thorns for you. They'll actually remove the thorns. That must be a thorny job. It's a thorny question. Sorry. Okay, so we're back round to Eleanor, and we're on chapter 16, Eleanor.
Yeah, I know.
And you get to read the whole chapter.
The whole chapter? It's only a page?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. But a lot of numbers. Okay. Chapter 16. The narrator discusses the Earth's lamplighters. So then, the seventh planet was the Earth. The Earth is not just an ordinary planet. One can count the 111 kings, not forgetting, to be sure, the Negro kings among them. 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7,500,000 tiplers, 311 million considered men, that is to say, about 2 billion grown-ups. To give you an idea of the size of the Earth, I will tell you that before the invention of electricity, it was necessary to maintain, over the whole of the 6 continents, a veritable army of 462,511 lamplighters for the street lamps. Seen from a slight distance, that would make a splendid spectacle. The movements of this army would be regulated like those of the ballet in the opera. First would come the 10 of the lamplighters in New Zealand and Australia. Having set the lamps alight, these would go off to sleep. Next, the lamplighters of China and Siberia would enter for the steps in the dance, and then they too would be waved back into the wings. After that would come the 10 of the lamplighters of Russia and the Indies, then those of Africa and Europe, then those in South America, then those in South America. It's just the same, strange. Then those of North America. And never would they make a mistake in the order of their entry upon the stage. It would be magnificent. Only the man who was in charge of the single lamp and the North Pole, and his colleague who was responsible for the single lamp at the South Pole, only these two would live free from toil and care. They would be busy twice a year. I would
Well, that's my kind of
prefer
job.
the last.
Mind you, you'd have to be cold as well, Eleanor, so... Very good. Nicely read. And no corrections. There was a couple of bits where you just misread the word. It should be at, not and, but it's not pronunciation. That's just your brain tricking you. That's just your brain playing tricks on you. Very good. Well done. Okay, Shiny.
What is tippler again, Lind?
Somebody
I
who
don't
likes a tipple. Somebody who likes to drink. If you like a tipple,
Alcoholic.
you like to drink. Well,
Sometimes.
yeah, so, yeah.
Regularly.
Alcoholic is much more of a medical problem. If you're a tippler, it doesn't imply that you've got a problem. It just implies you like a drink. Oh, he likes a drink, we tend to say, yeah? Or just a tipple. So a small drink is a tipple, and a tippler who isn't an alcoholic, but it is somebody who likes a regular and it might be a euphemism for an alcoholic. When you don't want to label somebody as having a real drink problem, you might say, well, he's a bit of a tippler, you know. Okay, I'll lock the drinks cabinet.
Here in the New Oxford American Dictionary, they said tippler is a person who operates or works at a tipple, especially at a mine. That's why I'm so confused.
Oh, well, in this context, that's not what a tippler is. This context just means somebody who drinks alcohol regularly. And as I say, yes, it might be used to say alcoholic without using that quite derogative term, really. But let's have a look. Oh yeah, a tippler is also a revolving frame or cage in which a truck is inverted to discharge its load. You see, I'd call that a tipper, but there you go. There's always more than one usage of these words. That sounds pretty specialist. I've never heard of it before, but then I don't drive trucks, so. But well done for looking it up and questioning it. Look at it in the context of the story. It's alcohol.
I have looked it up, and there was connected with alcohol. I don't remember. Perhaps they were two meanings.
Well, yeah, it says a person who works at a tipple, especially at a mine. Tipple, to drink, to drink. To drink. Okay, a device that tilts or overturns a freight car to dump its contents. I would say that's specialist vocabulary, April. You'll only need to know that if you start going and working in the strip mines in Australia, okay? And that way if somebody says, "Oi, April, go and get the tipple," you'll know what they're talking about. And you won't turn up with a glass of sherry.
Oh, in Australia. I have only noted the one connected with alcohol in my document.
And it's quite old. If you look at the origin, okay. Yeah, if you look at the origin, it's 1875 to 80. Americanism. Ah, that's why. And you see, it's interesting because if I'd read the example myself, but Charlie, my hearty, we are getting on slowly with the tipple. Are they all empty? I would have thought they were talking about bottles of alcohol. They're obviously talking about these particular... yeah, there you go. These particular carts. Okay. All right, April?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then, Shiny, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Chapter 17. The little prince makes the acquaintance of the snake. When one wishes to play the wit, he sometimes wanders a little from the truth. I have not been altogether honest in what I have told you about the lamp-lighters, and I realize that I run the risk of giving a false idea of our planet to those who do not know it. Men occupy a very small place upon the earth. If the 2 million inhabitants who people its surface were all to stand upright and somewhat crowded together, as they do for some big public assembly, they could easily be put into one public square 20 miles long and 20 miles wide. Oh, humanity could be piled up on a small Pacific islet. The grown-ups, to be sure, will not believe you when you tell them that. They imagine that they feel a great deal of space. They fancy themselves as important as the baobabs. You should advise them then to make their own calculations. They adore fig earth, and that will please them. But do not waste your time on this extra task. It's unnecessary. You have, I know, confidence in me. When the little prince arrived on the earth, he was very much surprised not to see any people. He was beginning to be afraid he had come to the wrong planet when a coil of gold, the color of the moonlight, flashed across the sun.
Very good. Well done. Nicely read. Okay, now there's a couple of little things here. One of them's very unfair because it is actually a mistake in the book. Okay, but let's start with the numbers. 2 billion, not 2 million. 2 billion.
2 billion.
That's it. If you say million, that's not many people at all. And of course, does anybody know what the because this book was written a few decades ago. Does anybody know what the population is now? It's more than 2 billion, isn't it? I think it's 7 billion.
I don't know, frankly.
Yeah, so
That was last year, Lynn.
that was
So
last year,
this year
so
must
who
be
knows?
more. Yeah.
I wonder where they've all come from. Okay, don't answer that one. So the next one is surface. I know it says face, but it's your face. What a beautiful face you have. But then we say surface. Okay, try it.
Surface.
That's it. Good. And then just believe. You've got to have a longer E. Believe. Believe me.
Believe.
That's better. And then the one that's a bit unfair, it does say fig ers. It's written in 2 words, but it is actually, they like figures. Numbers. Figures. Try it.
Figures.
That's it. It's figures. Okay. Now, when you start spotting mistakes and correcting them yourself like that in the actual text, then you'll know, oh my goodness, my English is getting really good. It's surely +1 now. Oh yeah, exactly. That's true. So it's at least 7 billion and 1. Very nicely read. Okay, April. Unless there's any
Lynn,
questions. Yep.
Yeah, one
Oh.
question. Why is it a coil of gold? Is it only a coil of gold? What does it mean? Is it a block of gold?
It will become
piece of gold?
clearer. It will become clearer when we read next. Okay.
Okay.
So if you read
okay.
the next page, then we'll see
Yeah.
what this coil of gold is. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, said the little prince courteously. Good evening, said the snake. What planet is this on which I have come down? Asked the little prince. This is the earth. This is Africa, the snake answered. Ah, then there are no people on the earth. This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The earth is large, said the snake. The little prince sat down on a stone and raised his eyes toward the sky. I wonder, he said, whether the stars are set alight in heaven so that one day each one of us may find his own again. Look at my planet. It is right there above us. But how far away it is?
Very good. So, have you figured out what the coil of gold was? Look at the picture.
Oh, which one is that? Oh, it's
It's the snake.
yellow as gold.
Yeah.
Oh, the snake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, now I understand.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too obvious, but yes, the snake. You do get these beautiful golden coloured snakes, by the way. If you remember when we were doing our exotic pets vocabulary session, the snake that was used in the example, it was beautiful yellow, almost gold. So that's what it is. And a coil is when a snake can coil itself up. So like a circle round on itself, a coil. Okay?
Okay, but what is that on the right side of the snake? That round thing?
I don't know.
Yellow round thing?
Maybe,
Oh, okay.
maybe it swallowed a mouse. Maybe it's got a mouse in its belly. But I know what you mean. But I was trying to figure it out. Oh, is that a nugget of gold, or is it? I don't know. Is it the snake swallowed a mouse, or? Okay. Any other questions? Have I ever tasted baobabs? No. I wouldn't put before. I would just say, have you ever tasted baobabs? No. I'm not even sure if you can eat them, to be honest. Although we were learning about something, oh, what was it in Speakeasy, I think, which I've got to try. Have a word with Marco about it. They drink, you might have had it as well, actually, Eleanor, because when we were learning about it, it's also popular in Poland. But it's silver birch juice. So it's the juice from a tree, the silver birch or the birch tree. So maybe that's similar. I don't know. You haven't? Oh, well, have a look in your shops and see if you can find... It's maybe got a different name, but it's silver birch juice. And Marco swears by it. Absolutely was... Oh, he's obviously a little addicted to it. Non-alcoholic, but it's... I'm desperate to find some. I've got to find the Polish shop somewhere in the Frankfurt area. Okay, any other questions? Nope. Then I think we're back round to Eleanor.
Okay. It is beautiful, the snake said. What has brought you here? I have been having some trouble with a flower, said the little prince. Ah, said the snake, and they were both silent. Where are the men? The little prince at last took up the conversation again. It is a little lonely in the desert. It is also lonely among men, the snake said. The little prince gazed at him for a long time. You are a funny animal, he said at last. You are no thicker than a finger. But I am more powerful than the finger of a king, said the snake. The little prince smiled. You are not very powerful. You haven't even any feet. You cannot even travel. I can carry you farther than any ship could take you, said the snake. He twined himself around the little prince's ankle like a golden bracelet. Whomever I touch, I send back to the earth from whence he came. The snake spoke again. But you are innocent and true, and you come from a star. The little prince made no reply. You move me to pity. We are so weak on this earth made of granite. The snake said, I can help you some day. If you grow too homesick for your own planet, I can. Oh, I understand you very well, said the little prince, but why do you always speak in riddles? I solve them all, said the snake. and they were both silent.
Very good. Well done. Oh no, this bit always makes me want to start crying because I've read the whole book now. So I know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is. It is. I remember reading it the first time. I was like, eh, but oh, okay. So nicely read, but 2 words.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Oh, sorry,
good.
no, 1 word. 1 word. Oh, I've done a naughty. I've been very naughty, in fact. April. April, April, April. Let me just go back to
It was
April,
for
Eleanor. It was for April,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Above, not above. Above.
Okay, above.
That's it. Oh, Lord above. Yeah, you do that. So you've got below, but above. Okay. So it is above as it is below. Okay, so just the one for Eleanor then. Very simple.
I like.
Thank
I
you. Like. You've got to get the
okay.
curse there because you said lie.
see one.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a little habit, along with your ulls. It's a little habit that you have of dropping the endings. So obviously you've decided that if you can't have the ulls, you'll have the cuz. Yeah, I would say that one's a problem because it can be mistaken for lie. Yeah, so if you say I like it, and you say I lie it, then you think people might think you're a liar. You lie. So just something to be aware of. Word endings are really important. Try not to swallow them, even if you're very hungry. Okay. Any questions about the page?
Yeah, Lynn, this one. Whomever I touch, I send back to the earth from whence he came. Does it mean that that who is that?
Yeah. That's it. Whomever I touch, I send back to the earth from whence he came. Because basically, when we die, we go back to the earth. Okay? It does become clearer later in the story. So, okay.
Okay.
At this point in the story, it's not clear. Okay? But you can interpret it. You can interpret it as in, oh, maybe he's a magic snake, that kind of thing. But if you interpret it literally, then that's exactly what the snake is saying. And the little prince seems to know that as well. He says, oh, I know what you mean. I know full well what you mean. Okay?
Not for me. For me, it's still a riddle.
Yes.
For me, the snake
But
speaks
remember-
riddles.
But remember, the little prince is the person who looked at the picture and saw not a hat. He saw the elephant inside the snake. So he's obviously very good at riddles. Okay, any other questions? Then let's do 2 more pages. Shiny, could you read the whole of chapter 18, please? I love these chapters.
Yes, thank you. The little prince goes looking for a man and meets a flower. The little prince crossed the desert and met with only one flower. It was a flower with 3 petals. A flower of no account that all. Good morning, said the little prince. Good morning, said the flower. Where are the men? The little prince asked politely. The flower had once seen Caravan passing. Men? She echoed. I think there are 6 or 7 of them in existence. I saw them several years ago, but one never knows where to find them. The wind blows them away. They have no roots, and that makes their life very difficult. Goodbye, said the little prince. Goodbye, said the flower.
Very good. Well done. Nicely read. Okay, just the one word. Okay. Here we go. Caravan.
Caravan.
That's it. A caravan is not like my mobile home, not like my little Volkswagen. It's not really a mobile home, my little Volkswagen caravan. You attach it to the back of the car and pull it around with you. I don't like caravans, I'll be honest. But it can also mean a caravan in the desert. Now that doesn't mean a vehicle attached to a car. It actually means a group of people travelling through the desert with usually with camels is a caravan. Yeah, camping car, but in this context it actually means people travelling through the desert with camels in a caravan. Okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. There's that song, Caravan of Love. I think it was a Christmas hit once. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm sure it was called Caravan of Love. And when I first heard it, I thought they were talking about a caravan. I thought, well, that's not very romantic. It was only when I watched the video I thought, oh, that kind of caravan. In fact, I'll
If you
there you go. Join the Caravan of Love. That's it. That was the one. And I was like, what? That's not very romantic. So yeah, best to know what kind of caravan people are talking about. Let's see if I can share.
The singular in front of caravan make me a little bit confused, because I was thinking that it was one thing, but a caravan means the whole thing.
Yes.
Couple of camels with
the people, the camels, the tents. It's all. It's just. I don't know why it became that particular word, but yeah, that's. Go. Let me just see. Here you go. If you want to watch this later, I'll try and remember to put it into the. Oh yeah, I'll put it into the video. Into the video. I'll put it into the forum as well. Okay. Okay. Good. Any questions? Then, April, if you could read the next chapter.
Okay, I hope that it will be clear what kind of flower it is in this chapter, because I'm curious. Chapter 19. The little prince climbs a mountain range. After that, the little prince climbed a high mountain. The only mountains he had ever known were the 3 volcanoes which came up to his knees, and he used the extinct volcano as a footstool. From a mountain as high as this one, he said to himself, I shall be able to see the whole planet at one glance and all the people. But he saw nothing, saw peaks of rock that were sharpened like needles. Good morning, he said courteously. Good morning, good morning, good morning, answered the echo. It's like, who are you? Said the little prince. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Answered the echo. Be my friends. I'm all alone, he said. I'm all alone, all alone, all alone, answered the echo. What a queer planet, he thought. It is altogether dry and altogether pointed and altogether harsh and forbidding, and the people have no imagination. They repeat whatever one says to them. On my planet I had a flower, she always was the first to speak. It is like Marco Rema.
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello.
Except we always reply to Marco, so he's not just he's not just talking to an echo. Very good. Okay. Perfect pronunciation, but I don't think you understood this sentence. It's not but he saw nothing saw, it's but he saw nothing save peaks of rock that were sharpened like needles. Save. Okay, now this is an unusual way of using the word save. Okay, in this case it means except for.
Ah, okay. I
Okay.
didn't know.
Ah, no, well. So it's actually a conjunction. So it means he saw nothing except for peaks of rock that were sharpened like needles. So it's nothing to do with the verb to save. It's just this way of saying except for. Okay?
Okay, so I don't understand. We don't understand that. Save Eleanor.
That's it! Yay! And sometimes you can see it as save for or just on its own save. Okay? But it's a very formal, and again, it's that writing form, that literary form of a word. It's more likely that you'll find it in poetry and books or from Oxbridge graduates. That's it, exactly. I don't know, I didn't notice whether it was in your notes, Eleanor, but it might be worth putting it into the notes, because it's a word that people think they understand, but they don't fully understand the meaning. Okay.
No, because I knew it already, but I will put it immediately.
So you were right, April. No one understood it save Eleanor and me.
Yeah. So next time you have to ask me first if I understand it.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so we will leave it at that point then. We've got a nice place to start next time, chapter 20, and I'm just checking the actual book. I really think that, and I've made this mistake before, but we might have a chance of finishing it next week if everybody comes ready to, I don't know, because it's going to be the last session next week before we break up for Christmas. So maybe if you guys are up for a marathon session, maybe we could finish the book next week. Okay? Yes, Christmas. Christmas. I had a wonderful reaction from Zom a couple of weeks ago when I just happened to say, oh, there's only 20 odd shopping days till Christmas, and she flipped out. Yeah, she's had such a busy time of it recently. It really snuck up on her this year. Okay, so next week we'll see how it goes. It doesn't matter. We can always finish it off next year. But there you go. We'll give it a go. Okay, so from me and the little prince and the snake and the fox, and we didn't get to the fox, but we'll get to the fox next week. And the roses and the sheep and all the other things, and the elephant, of course. I bid you farewell, and I'll maybe see you tomorrow. Take care. I won't be able to join Jess's session in Skype because she's changed the time again, so I just can't do that time. But yeah, fingers crossed that will run okay. If you need to be added, let me know. But I'm going to go and do that now on the forum. Take care then. Bye. Yes, we have a menagerie. We're getting a menagerie here. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.